executive producer RJ here, just letting you know with either my face or my voice, depending on if you're watching the video or listening to the audio version, that things are going to be a little bit different in terms of how we're putting out the podcast. If you listen to the end of this episode, it will explain everything. Now, without further ado, here's the show.
Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from Do You Take Cards? RJ, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic today, Matt. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Got a new card approval just before the weekend started, so I'm waiting for that. American Express seems to be over-promising, and under-promising and over-delivering. So we'll see when I get the card.
How does it feel to be on the MR train now, Matt? I know this is not your preferred train, but it is a train.
I'm just going to ram those points into Hilton, so I'll probably just be fine. So we'll move on with Tariq. Tariq, how are you today, sir?
I am good. And sticking to the topics of cards, I'm slowly chipping away at my sub for the IHG Premier Business. And I think by middle of next month, I should probably hit it. So gonna have a little over 140,000 IHG points to play with and start dabbling in that brand.
Fantastic. And we're also joined, as always, by, I'm just going to start calling him Professor Lonnie, but Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie channel. How are you today, sir?
Why Professor, may I ask?
Oh, you have all the knowledge and you just happen to drop it.
Professors drop knowledge? Or do they give it willingly to their pupils?
You know, considering what sort of student I was, I can't fully answer that properly.
All right, take notes, everybody. Grab your notebooks. But I'm doing all right. Today was a good day. I'm not going to be mad at it. And to quote Ice Cube, that is. But yeah, and you mentioned Hilton, because I'll go ahead and drop the bomb right here. And this is not a flex alert, but I've already talked about over the last 2 weeks. If you have a United card, if you're not booking like crazy right now, you're literally leaving money and trips on the table. I have 2 trips at 2 different Waldorf Astorias, of course, Hilton properties, and I'm looking very forward to them.
Fantastic. Yes, I did mention that I got a new credit card before the beginning of the weekend. I was approached by American
We weren't
Express.
recording when you said that, so I just said a whole bunch of stuff completely out of context. I just realized that.
No worries. So I recently was approved for the American Express Blue Business Plus. Got a nice welcome offer, an elevated welcome offer of 25,000 points on $3,000 in spend. And I can always move those points to Hilton, whether it's a transfer bonus or the regular 2-to-1. And since my previous card with American Express was the Hilton Honors, Hilton is a brand I like. So I have an easy place to put those points, and I do have some relatively large spend to hit with that card. And Blue Business Plus, no annual fee, seemed to be a win all around. Oh, and American Express decided to give me a $23,000 credit limit on that card.
Nice. I will add that in one of my Waldorf Astoria bookings, no one is a fan of the Amex travel portal. It's usually pretty bad. But if you have Amex Platinum, I got 30% off from the points redemption itself. It actually made it a very good redemption without having to transfer them out to Hilton. So FYI for all y'all listeners out there, go check it out.
And if you have the Platinum card, you have gold status with Hilton that gets honored automatically through the Amex portal.
Yes, sir.
So there we go. Well, with those pleasantries out of the way, we're going to start with basics of the week. So we're going to start with our back to basics. We have a basics topic of transfer partners 101. What are transfer partners and why do we obsess over them? So my very top level answer, transfer partners are travel partners that banks have agreements with. When you sign up for a credit card with the bank, whether it's Chase, American Express, as we've talked about, Citi, Wells Fargo, and Built are the big transfer currencies. Oh, Capital One. I forgot Capital One. Sorry, everyone does. The bank has a list of partners that they have agreements with. You can take your points, whether it is membership reward points with American Express, Chase Ultimate Reward points, Wells Fargo points, Capital One miles, Built points, and move those to the transfer partners, typically on a one-to-one basis. I mentioned Hilton before. Hilton is an American Express transfer partner, and I can move my American Express points to Hilton. For every 1 point that I send over from American Express, Hilton gives me 2 points. So some partnerships are really nice that way. Other partnerships have weird have weird rates. I did mention American Express. They also have a partnership with JetBlue, another company that I've talked about with a transfer partner. That rate is something like 0.8 point. It's weird because I think you move 250 American Express points, you get 200 JetBlue points. Make that make sense? I can't. But that is my very top, like 30,000 foot view. But let's drill down a little bit further. We'll start with RJ. RJ, any other facets of transfer partners that I'm missing here?
So one of the things that I talk about a lot, Lonnie also hits on it quite a bit as well, is when you sort of get into credit cards, one of the first things or one of the major things you want to do is take a look at transfer partners, and picking your partners really does matter, and it really does make your life a lot easier, right? So if you're a big Hyatt person, as at least two of the people on this podcast are, getting Amex and expecting to be able to transfer to Hyatt is just not going to work, right? They're not a transfer partner. But if you get Chase cards, as one especially person on this podcast likes to do, you are able to transfer those points to Hyatt, right? So if you know what you like to stay at or you know what you like to fly, I'm a big Delta person. I'm a big Amex person because of it, right? Which we'll get into at some point, I'm sure. So I knew I had to get some Amex cards. Now I happen to like a lot of Amex cards. They work for me for Marriott, which is also a transfer partner of Amex. So for me, the transfer partners in Amex work really well together. And once I knew that, it unlocked a lot of easier options for me. I didn't have 50 dining cards to look at. I really just had 2 or 3 that worked, unless I want to get into, hotel cards or airline cards. And then it opens it up a little bit more. So picking your partners, knowing what you like to stay at, knowing what you like to fly. If you do international travel, then look at that. If you don't and have never been out of the country and don't plan to for the next 5 years, then maybe don't bank on, oh, I want to use this transfer partner because I want to go to Spain. Well, when are you going to Spain? Well, probably 2035. Well, maybe don't get that partner right now. Maybe get it in 2033, right? So that is, to me, I think one of the things about transfer partners that is really important is picking your transfer partners, understanding what you like, and then going from there, because it will cut down your number of choices, but it will make your choices a lot simpler so you don't have that sort of analysis paralysis that a lot of people go with.
Absolutely. And we're going to throw over to Lonnie next.
Okay, thank you. So RJ stole my favorite line of pick your partners. So when it comes to transfer partners, it's incredible. Well, first off, the definition that Matt gave was actually very, very detailed and accurate. Who would have thought that Matt would be 100% accurate? Never, not me. Love you, Matt. Anyway, um, when it comes to transfer partners and picking your partners, it's actually very, very, very important to help you to make sure that you choose the correct card and the most effective card in whatever strategy that you're building for yourself. So I'm going to use my examples, but don't say because Lonnie said it, I had to go do Lonnie's strategy. My strategy, I already know, does not work for everyone. So make a strategy that works for you and use me as a reference point to build a strategy that works for you. But when it comes to transfer partners, I think one of the things that people don't talk about or talk about enough or talk about openly is how they build status into their strategy from those transfer partners. So once again, going to my example, everyone knows I'm a United person. I've been self-proclaimed, I've been community proclaimed the United guy. Also kind of like an IHG guy, and I'm a Chase person. You've all heard me talk about built a lot, even though I really only have 3 built videos, but I'm also kind of like a built guy too. Um, but the reason why is going back to everything I just said. When I pick my cards, why am I Chase? Because Chase transfers to United and IHG. If I ever needed those United miles or IHG points, I can easily know I can do that. And the same thing with built. I've also mentioned, even at the beginning of this, that I do have an MX. Um, I do have two MX, well, technically three, but I have the MX Gold and the MX Platinum. My first MX card is a student card. It's just active. I don't ever touch it. I forget I even have it sometimes. But anyway, so I have three, but technically I'm going to say two. And I've called that my plan B strategy because if you are no Amex, you know they don't transfer to United. They also do not transfer to IHG. And I've gotten this question a million times like, why do I have them? Well, when I'm not staying at IHG or when I need something outside of my plan A strategy, I have transfer partners that can help fill in those gaps, which is how I just got this really awesome redemption at a Hilton, well, Waldorf Astoria by Hilton property, whatever the official title is. Matt, keep me honest there, whatever they officially call it. But on top of that, transfer partners and building your status around said transfer partners also bring you status or what we'll call co-branded status. So like a hotel status, like a gold or even like a United, will give you President Circle or Avis Preferred at a rental car company, which is another discount, another layer in this travel strategy game. But if you're just going all left, right, willy nilly, just picking whatever cards, and I'll say it like this because we've all been there. You'll find yourself in a position where you need, call it 50,000 points, and you have 60,000 points. They just spread across 4 different partners. And then you're like, I don't have enough points for this one partner. So that's why pick your partners is important and build a strategy around that that works for you. And that's where transfer partners come in. But that's my 2 cents because Matt already gave a great definition.
Thank you as always. And yeah, the statuses, Hilton specific are silver, gold, platinum, silver, gold, diamond. But you get varying increases in your earnings with those as well when you stay at Hilton's and things like that. Same with airlines, same with Hyatt, same with IHG. But Tariq, anything else to add in here?
So, Matt, you hit the transfer partner definition on the head, so I can't really add on to that. But I will say this. For all the students taking Professor Lonnie's Points and Miles 101 lecture, if there's not a single thing that you learned in the entire lecture, you just know. It's been said dozens of times here, pick your partners. He says that after syllabus week. It's the big thing that he's going to do. And I will say for my use case, my example, I had to, in a sense, reassess and ended up repicking my partners. At first, I was gung ho on Marriott and Southwest. That was just what I knew growing up. It made the most sense to me. And I was like, cool, I'm going to do Chase. Still managed to get with Chase, but I realized it ended up being Hyatt and Southwest. And then once I started getting around this, more involved in the YouTube community through Discords, I learned about the powers of United thanks to Mr. United, Professor Lonnie himself. And then, of course, Matt and John R. from John's Credit and Travel. I can't remember his channel name. Good Lord. Those two were kind of the feeders, and then they just threw me to the Lonnie Shark that got me into United. So credit to all three of y'all. thank you, because I am loving United, and that is going to be my go-to for that reason. And had I known then what I know now, I would have way more United miles than I already do. And I would have just gone full-blown Chase, full-blown Hyatt. So yeah, take it from me. Really do a deep assessment with how you travel, how you want to travel. It's been said previously in this podcast before, know how your travel experience, know what you want in your travel experience, whether you are just going to be cutting it close and check-in, or you're going to be the guy or the gal that is there 3-4 hours early before the flight, which hot take, you should, and get your lounge access. So that is all I got to say for that. Make sure you pick your partners well.
So, one thing I want to point out is one of the best reasons to pick your partners and have points being able to transfer is if you book through a portal, you have to deal with the company of which you booked it through. So, say I book it through Amex, right? If I have an issue with my Delta flight, I can't deal with Delta. I got to deal with Amex, who may or may not be able to assist me in whatever I want to do. So yes, there are times where booking through a portal, the platinum card that Lonnie and I both have, have some excellent benefits. That's a slightly different scenario. But if I have my choice between booking a hotel with my green card for 3x and even booking it, 5x on the platinum for a hotel, I'm going to use my green card, book it directly with Marriott. And then if I have an issue, I deal with Marriott, I deal with the front desk. I don't have to deal with somebody else. And as somebody who has had things go bad via portals, that is something that I'm okay taking the haircut on points to deal with the chain directly or to deal with the airline directly there. So another layer to put on, if you don't like portals, then it's especially important to pick your partners well and to be able to transfer, because that's really how you're going to get your points out. Cashing out your points is an option, but I don't think any of us would recommend that to be your regular strategy.
Not on the cash out. The cash out can work, but that is an extra level of math that we turn to Stack Your Points actuary Spathco for, which we're going to get to him in a little bit. The other thing with booking direct, if you are on a status hunt, and that's another term we'll get into at some point with basics, if you are looking to get status with Hilton, Hyatt, IHG, whoever, when you book through a third-party portal, whether it's Chase's, American Express's, American Express actually I'm going to treat a little bit differently just because of their unique relationship with Hilton and Marriott. But if you book through the Chase Travel Portal, if you book through Expedia, if you book through Hotels.com, Kayak, Cheapo Hotel, whatever third party you're using, you're not going to be getting status. Your stays are not going to count towards status with that brand. Now, Hilton and Marriott will honor your status with the American Express portal. Marriott does not honor your status with Chase. Who knows why? So just keep that in mind if you want to build and develop and grow that relationship with that brand. Going directly to them is always going to be your best bet.
I will add one asterisk to what you just said, Matt, because if you use the Chase portal with United, it does go towards United status. But I'm only here to keep us all united. And yes, that was a pun. Take it.
Gladly. Yeah, I did briefly. I was blanking on that Chase and United. It's weird because Chase and Marriott had that long-standing relationship before Marriott bought SPG, and just kind of like fully embraced American Express over Chase, which is life.
And just to touch on, is it your most recent video? I don't know. Can you drop like 3 videos a day? But your most recent built Walgreens video, I'm going to steal a line directly out of it. Right now, it works. So don't ruin it. Y'all, don't nerf it. Some people rely on this Chase United relationship, so don't nerf it. Don't ruin it.
Just buy your medicine and get your points and move on. It's not worth it. It's
I
not
think we
worth the
just got the
breakage.
title. Buy your medicine, get your points, move on.
There we go. Tariq's on the board. All right, so that is going to do it for basics of the week.
Hey, Matt, do you want to tell the people how this podcast is about to change wildly?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into that. So we are breaking up the podcast into a couple of different means for engagement on YouTube. So there will be a basic segment that is going to come out on Mondays. We will have Wednesdays now is going to be our Q&A, I believe is Wednesday.
Wednesday is going to be the main show, which is going to be the topics and if there's any news. And then Friday will be the Q&A. Saturday, I'm going to post the entire show. So if you want start to finish, you can listen to that on Saturday. But we're going to break it up because sometimes we go a little long on Q&A or topics or whatever. And it's nice to have an hour chunk instead of a 2-hour chunk.
Or today, 2.5. So with that, RJ, if folks want to find you, where's the best place to find you on the interwebs?
You can find me answering comments to this podcast because Tariq still hasn't put up a YouTube channel. But when he does, you can find me at Do You Take Cards?
And Lonnie, where can we find you?
I got nothing funny tonight. You're gonna find me in bed. It is absolutely late, y'all. So I know you're probably watching this at like 9, 10 a.m. or listening to this at 9, 10 a.m. It is not that time when we're recording it. So I got nothing funny. But I am on YouTube at my channel name is Call Me Lonnie, all one word. Lonnie spelled Lani. Come over, say hi, say you came to the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. I'm actually pushing my way towards 3,000 right now. So I would really appreciate your support.
Fantastic. Tariq, where can we find you on the internet since it's not a YouTube channel?
Well, you can find me at Lot C of the Alamo Dome because football season is back and I am an avid UTSA football fan. So, I'll also be in the Second Points podcast, Discord. But other than that, God bless and birds up.
RJ, I'm so sorry that it's going to be like March before you're able to upload again.
Oh, yeah. College football's back. Don't even... You picked the wrong time.
Don't even have to put a video out, Serge. Start the channel.
Start a channel. Just start a channel. Just start a channel. Just start a channel. If you want to leave us comments, please do on the YouTube channel. Find us on your favorite podcatcher of choice, be it Icecast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify. I am running out of, I think Pandora does podcasts now. Wherever you find your podcasts, we are there. Leave us a comment down below on the YouTube channel if you want to as well. Leave us those 5-star reviews. We will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Matt. Real quick, before we officially bow out, going back to Tariq starting his channel. For all y'all that are listening here, I know we just started this a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months ago. Let's do a digital petition. In the comments, say, Tariq, you start a channel and I will subscribe. That's at least 100 subscribers right there, Tariq. So we get enough people.
But then I got to actually post the video because I'm going to have like a ton of something subscribers.
Shut up.
That was never the deal.
Do something.
Shut up.
That was never the deal.
I'm still talking because this is for the people that are supporting you and listening to you in your nonsense week after week after week. If they drop it in the comments saying, I will support Tariq's new channel or Tariq must create a channel, you cannot ignore the listeners and viewers of RJ, Matt, and myself. Thus, you have to do it. And we know we're kicking you off right because all these people are also going to sub to your brand new channel as well. I think we need a digital petition. We're not asking you anymore. The community's asking. Your listeners are asking. Are you going to ignore your listeners? Because you're not going to ignore my listeners, and I'm pretty sure RJ and Matt feel the same. Thank you very much, y'all. Y'all have a great night.
I hate y'all. I love the viewers, but I'm talking to my 3 co-hosts. I hate y'all right now.
again, you don't have to post a video. Just have to start the channel. Put up a little community post. Channel coming soon. UTSA football first.
And
That's
then
it.
UTSA basketball.
Sir, you're pushing your luck. With
That's the
that,
reason why I'm in the corner.
thanks for watching Stack Your Points. We'll be back next week. Thanks as always.